Yo, family, welcome to Munch Better, the show where rhythm meets real life. My name is Oskido. This space is about good energy, better living, and real talk about health and wellness. For years, I lived that nightlife grind, late gigs, fast foods, no sleep. But at some point, I realized that success means nothing if you're not well. So today I'm joined by two amazing queens, DJ Zinhle and Dr. Tamara, where we are sharing our journey about health and wellness. Let's dive in.
The information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not replace professional medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet, lifestyle, or supplements. And never delay in seeing your medical practitioner for any concerns.
Ladies, welcome. Finally, we are here.
We're doing
journey.
it.
Eh?
We're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm ready for you. Yeah.
This is full circle. I mean, we've done a lot of work together, you and I. But when exactly did we meet? I know that I left my job in 2009 and I had already met you by then.
Yeah,
What
I
job did
mean,
you do?
I had a job at SAB as a brand rep.
Okay.
And
yes.
I booked Oskido for a Mila gig. And he didn't know at the time that I was a DJ. And then a few days later, he had to book me for YFM's 9th birthday celebration. YFM is how old now? Over 20 years old, I think.
Yes.
And he had to book me. And when he saw me, he's like, how? Aren't you working at SAB? What are you doing here? I said, no, I'm also a DJ. And he had booked to book me a show. I remember he gave me an 8 o'clock slot and he said, don't mess up my show.
And you didn't.
No, I didn't. I had to make sure. And that's when we started working together. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a long journey.
It's like that. And it's funny, when Zinhle did it, it was like, she had to quit her job, which was paying her good money. And also remember that job where they even give you a car. And when she said that she actually told me that she wants to leave her job. She's forgotten. Then remember that we become comfortable when we've got all these things. And you say she wants to get into the DJing. And I remember then I said, okay, let's see how it's going to go. And later I saw it with vinyl. I was like, wow.
Saw the magic.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't imagine I'd be an adult this many years later with Oskido. And now there's Dr. Tamara. And then you introduced me to Dr. Tamara. But how did you guys meet?
Well, to be honest, I was in bad shape. I had a health scare, I remember I'd gone to my doctor and my doctor, he took my bloods, I turned 50. Then decided that, let me go and check, what's going on in my body. And later to find out my body was in a mess. I was more on a pre-diabetic stage. And I remember my dad had just lost his eye because of diabetes.
Did you know that it was in the family?
No, yeah, well, I knew my dad, had that diabetes. So, there's always a myth that, when it runs in the family, it runs with you. And then from there, my inflammation was high. And I remember the doctor giving me a script to say that, your cholesterol is high, anything is going to happen to you now. But what you need to do, you need to go on these stanton tablets. You have to take these tablets for life. Then I said, wow. And I remember that that time I had started, my health journey, but someone told me about someone who does supplement, and that was Dr. Tamara. And I went to her and I said that, I need to start on these meds. How can you help me?
You didn't want to do the meds?
Saying? No, I didn't buy those. Then I went to her. Then says, let me do my own analysis. Let me do a blood test and let me do everything. And then she did that. And she confirmed, says, this is what's happening. Inflamed, cholesterol high and all that stuff. But stop these tablets, these stanton tablets. I'll give you something and we'll review. After 3 months, I want you to change the way you eat, the way you look at life, and boom. And this is how I met Tamara after 3 months, because I had to go back to my doctor for a review. And everything
This was the
like,
best part.
Is it?
and my doctor said, what happened?
That's nice.
And so is my medication, my dosage, should I lower that stent? And I said, no, I never even took your stuff.
Wait, hold on, Oscar. How bad was it, Dr. Tamara? Wait, hold on. How bad was it? I feel like Oscar is not telling me the truth here.
Zinhle, remember, I was even big, man.
Yes.
Yakhumbula benginomkhaba.
Yeah, but still, I want Dr. Tamara.
Yes.
She did the bloods. She knows.
Yeah.
So I'm only saying this because he's given me permission. Otherwise, we have doctor-patient confidentiality. But yeah, it was I think with all of these years of these late nights and the environment that Oscar was in and that you've been exposed to as well, it takes its toll. And it's a scary thing, I think, when your body doesn't play the way you want it to. Suddenly you turn 50 and it feels like your body's betrayed you when you see all these bad blood tests. And the way health has been painted for us really is that once it starts going down, it's just a downward trajectory forever. We're just going to get worse and worse and worse and end up like our parents. But it doesn't have to be that way. You know, if we can just understand our bodies really nicely and we can change our environment and our diet and our lifestyle and somehow manage the stress that we all live under, we have a way to turn it around. And he's proof is in the pudding.
Yes, it's funny. After a couple of months, Itse was asking me, hey, what's going on? Yeah. And I remember that time she was expecting Carol, you know. She had her own cover like this. I said, oh, what's going to happen to you after you give birth?
Yeah, but I'm just interested to talk to Tamara, like, what is your qualification? So what is it that you do?
So I started off as a homeopath, actually. So in South Africa, homeopathy is a big degree. It's 6 to 7 years. And we do all of the medical subjects as well. And we've got, I would say, one of the biggest scopes of practice in the natural medicine world in South Africa. In fact, if you study homeopathy anywhere else in the world and you want to practice in South Africa, you have to be a medical doctor and a homeopath because we've got one of the best courses in the whole world. And then after that, I am a nerd. So I went into nutrigenomics and genetics, and then biogerontology, which is the study of reversing the aging process. And since then, I've taught over 20,000 doctors about preventative medicine. How do we pick up trends towards disease long before the disease occurs? So we want to look for dysfunction before disease. And at that point, we have a chance of stopping the process and not developing it. So
let me tell you, Dr. Tamara, of all the people in my life, I never for once thought Oskido would be the guy who would encourage me and guide me towards a better living, like in terms of health and wellness. I've been doing late nights and eating McDonald's and eating all kinds of things with Oscar at like 1 a.m. And then suddenly Oscar had a different lifestyle. We're now suddenly talking about all kinds of things that I should be doing. I was like, Oscar, wait, what's going on? And now I understand, like, he had met you and you were giving him that information.
Yeah. But I'm happy that, Zinhle, because when a lot was happening that time. A lot was happening in her life. Because besides me and her, our relationship, besides being in the music industry, we talk a lot. And that time, and I remember she had given birth, and like I was saying, how is she going to lose? What's going to happen? Yeah. And eventually she wasn't telling me, but she was doing things on the side. And I could see her transformation. And yeah, I'm happy.
I mean, you're a beacon of health and wellness.
I wouldn't say so. I think I learn small things, every time I'll get information from this person. I mean, I've called you a few times since Oskar introduced me to you. But I think that's the thing, though, about health and wellness. You learn something today, you practice it, you learn something tomorrow, and you build on it. And I think this is actually the point of why we are sitting here of Munch Better, because we want people to start learning the small and making small differences in their lives that can just make a big difference over time, because it's just the small things that you need to tweak that you didn't know about. Because information when it comes to health and wellness is actually quite hectic. Like, you think you know, but you don't know anything.
This is the problem, I think, is we're drowning in information now. There's too much. We came from a space where our parents never had any information to a space where we have all the information.
Oh, I'm doing everything TikTok tells me to do.
No, that will confuse you.
Yes.
Today it tells you this, tomorrow that. Yeah, you get confused.
And ChatGPT also lies. I don't know if you've seen ChatGPT lies about its references,
Yeah.
so it makes stories up.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm going to learn a lot from this.
It gives you the answer that it thinks the smartest person in that field would give you. But it's not always the truth. So you must always ask ChatGPT for the reference, and then it'll tell you, actually, there's no reference for this. It's not actually a study. I made it up. And then it says to you, thank you for being so thorough. It's so cute. ChatGPT.
Okay, well, we're here now and we're happy to learn. I'm ready to learn from you guys, and I'm sure a lot of people out there are also happy to learn from us, because there's a lot we can discover when it comes to health and wellness. I mean, we're drinking matcha right now.
Yes,
Never in a million
guys.
years did I think Oskido will be making matcha for me.
I went to Japan, guys. I went to Japan to find a farm, for this matcha drink. Everyone is talking about it. It's 10 times better than green tea, I'm sure. Dr. Tamara won't say, when I told you about matcha, because every time I try out something, I say, Tamara, do you think that's going to work?
Yeah.
Say, no, go for it. That's the best. When it comes to, because a lot of people normally, they prefer coffee, but coffee at times, it makes your heart beat, faster and all that. But matcha, it calms you down. Even when it's really, taking you down, you won't feel it, unlike coffee where you want to drink one cup, after that you want to take another one. So matcha, it keeps you going, man.
It's a bit like a smooth transition. You don't go up and then crash like
you
coffee.
Approved it for me, right?
Yeah. I'm drinking it right now. Also, the challenge we're having with coffee at the moment is the mold. So they're finding that there's a high amount of mold in the coffee beans, and the mold is toxic for your heart. So when you feel that heart, it's not only the caffeine, it's also the mold content in the coffee.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got to be careful of where we're getting our food from.
Well, Tamara, you remember when I came to you and I told you about my dad, and I thought actually I was going to get diabetes, because that's what my doctor told me, and saying that, you're going into this road now, you're going to have diabetes. But later, when I changed, the way I was doing things, my nutrition and everything disappeared. What happened? Because we always think, when this thing is in the family. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. It's always been like that.
So we've been taught that for a very long time, right? That if my grandparents had diabetes, my parents had diabetes, I'm going to get diabetes. My kids are going to get diabetes. In fact, there's always that joke, right, where you say, if you want to know what your spouse is going to look like in 20 years, look at the parents.
Okay.
But what we found out in genetic studies now is that when we do, there's two kinds of genetic testing you can do, high penetrance and low. So what that means is the high penetrance are the genes like Angelina Jolie did for her breast cancer. If you have that gene, it's 97% chance that you're going to get breast cancer. But those are such a teeny weeny percentage. It's something like 0.02% of genes are high penetrance like that. Most of the genes that cause the lifestyle-related diseases like diabetes and hypertension and heart disease, they are low penetrance. So what that means is the genes that you're getting from your grandparents to your parents to you to your children only account for 20% of you getting that disease in the future.
Okay.
What accounts for 80% is that your grandparents taught your parents how to live and eat. They taught you how to live and eat. You're teaching your children how to live and eat. So it's that cycle that's causing the problem.
So is it lifestyle?
It's lifestyle, it's diet, it's what we bathe our genes in. So if you can see what that pattern is in your family, and you can change your diet and lifestyle, just like you guys were saying, the late nights, the McDonald's, the eating bad things, lots of alcohol, all of these things.
Yeah.
If your parents did that and they taught you, and then your children are watching you do that, that cycle is going to continue.
Yeah.
But if you swap it exactly like you did, you change your diet, you change your lifestyle, you change the way you live and work, your children see you do that.
And it's fun. And I remember you saying that you must have a 7 hours sleep, because I used to sleep 3 hours, get to the studio and all that stuff.
And we're very proud of that as artists. Oh, I didn't sleep today. I was in the studio the whole night.
But how important is the sleep then?
Let me tell you something amazing about the sleep. The latest research is actually showing that women need between 9 and 11 hours of sleep, not 7 to 8 like men. And this has only come out in research in the last few years. So when a woman is on her period, she needs to be sleeping 11 hours.
Yeah.
So women are chronically under-rested, even more so than we previously thought. But sleep is so important because in your sleep, you have different cycles of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And only when you're in deep sleep, which is a small percentage of your overall sleep, we aim for 90 minutes in an 8-hour cycle of deep sleep.
Wow.
But only when you hit deep sleep, we've got these little janitors in our brain cells, and they clean out all the debris that occurred the whole day. If you don't have deep sleep, they never switch on.
Okay.
Wow.
So it's almost like having the most advanced hospital in the whole world with the best doctors and the best equipment and the best technology, but there's no cleaning staff. That hospital within 1-2 weeks is going to be finished. All the patients are going to have infections. Everything's going to be a disaster. The doctors can't work if stuff's not being cleaned out. So that deep sleep is incredibly important. There are some tricks we can do if you have to have a late night, but we'll talk about that in another
please,
episode.
Man, you must give us that.
I'm stressed already. I thought I was sleeping enough, but it seems I'm not.
Especially the weekend.
Yeah.
But you see, Zinhle has always been bad after the gigs, right? We get to a gig, then you find it's about 3 a.m. And remember, those days there were no McDonald's. But
yeah, it's fun to eat in the morning sometimes.
Because, my auntie, Sis Maria, used to cook nice food.
Yes.
So when she passes via my house, there's that pop
at 3 in the morning.
3 in the morning.
Yes.
And then she wants us now to chow that thing.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good. I mean, also we were much younger.
Yeah.
And Oscar, when I met Oscar, I think Oscar's been overweight all his life, but it was a norm for us. It was normal. And I was not exercising. It was normal for me. Because I always thought, okay, I look thin. I don't need to exercise. I can eat pap at 3 in the morning. The next day I'm going to be fine. But we didn't understand the long-term impact of what we were doing to our bodies. And I think that's the education that I want to give out to people right now, to say the small things and the small decisions that you make right now are going to impact you in the long run. I mean, I never thought there would be a time when Oscar and I just like, no, we don't do alcohol or this. It was just part of the normal lifestyle that we're living, because we didn't have information about the type of lifestyle that we're living in.
I remember Tandi Somazai saying that recording, say, Oskido, what happened? You've changed. You're just a write-off. Someone writes.
I not a write-off, Oscar. I'm sorry.
And then I said, no, you must meet Dr. Tamara, man. But okay, talking about me eating at 3 a.m. and then I go to sleep. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, because now my body's resting. Can digest.
Because what's wrong with that? What's the problem?
So it actually changes a little bit as we age. The way our bodies can adapt to things, we have less resources as we get older. When you're in your 20s, you can survive almost anything. It's amazing. You can be up the whole night and write an exam the next day. Your body's incredible. But as we age, those resources reduce. Now, when we get to a certain age, our insulin becomes a little bit more sensitive, especially for women. So what happens is insulin is a hormone that is released in response to energy in the body, usually sugar and starch. But the minute insulin is up, your body can't burn fat.
Okay.
So the longer you have high insulin, the more you have belly fat, especially this tummy, around the tummy.
Yeah, I was serious. Check. Now I've got 6-pack now.
Yeah.
You remember?
Things have changed
A lot.
drastically.
So we want the body to be in a situation where it's utilizing all the energy from our food and it's not storing the energy from our food.
Okay.
Now your body produces the same insulin to foods differently at different times of the day. If you have even steak and eggs for breakfast and steak and eggs for dinner, you produce more insulin at dinner time than you do at breakfast time, which means you store more fat for longer if you're eating the same meal at dinner time. The later you eat, the more fat you're going to store.
Okay.
So you want to give your body that time to digest nicely so that it has the resources to rest. You don't want it to be working while you're
all
sleeping.
the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So which means this thing of people doing these diets, it doesn't work if you don't really follow what you're saying.
I think it's just important that one size doesn't fit all.
Okay.
One size fits all is very old medicine. So giving any kind of advice without a person knowing what's going on in their health, understanding their medical history, understanding some blood tests, if we can make an individualized approach, it's best for everyone. But simple things hold true for everyone. So I always say, if it's made by the earth, it's probably good for you.
Yeah.
The more people have had to do with it, the worse and worse it's going to get for you, because people are after profit, they're not after nutrition.
Okay. So Zinhle, what are you doing right? Because I was surprised all of a sudden saying, what's happening?
She's amazing.
She used to be on all these diets. You find that she's got all these things happening.
I'm so
there was
crazy.
something popping. She will be buying all these things. Then she eats. Then after all of a sudden, boom! I say she's already gained weight. But lately, she's been, nice and trim.
Looks strong and
so
fit and healthy.
what's the secret?
I think consistency is the secret, just learning things and just do. I think a lot of things work. Most diets could work if people were more consistent, but information is power. Just educating yourself. The internet is out there now. You can research things. You can ask questions. You have access to doctors. You have access to a lot of things. And I think the one thing that's worked for me is just being consistently good at committing myself to exercise. Because I feel like that also kills a lot of other things. It kills cravings. It makes me feel more disciplined. I feel like if I exercise in the morning and I commit myself, I'm less likely to eat bad food during the day. I'm more likely to want to live more of a healthy lifestyle. So I was listening to Dr. Tamara now, Oscar. Actually, I wanted to ask you, because someone will be listening to this and saying, yeah, but the stuff that you guys are telling me about, it requires a lot of money. And now I need to book Dr. Tamara, but I don't have that money. What is it? Where do you think someone can start, Oscar, that doesn't require money? And I'll tell you where I started, where it didn't require money. I use YouTube. To exercise. I've been using YouTube to do Pilates for the last 10 years. I've never been to a professional Pilates class. I use YouTube. All the information that I need, I feel like, is in the internet. So there's no excuse to say I don't have gym money. Things like getting out and taking a walk with your dog, with your children, that doesn't require money. There's small changes that you can actually make that can make a big difference, but they don't actually require you to necessarily go to a doctor and pay and say, do my bloods. But what is it that you maybe feel like you were able to do that doesn't necessarily require someone to have a lot of money?
Yeah, I think I started, when I wake up in the morning, because these days I do my 7-hour sleep. And when I'm up in the morning at about 6, then I make sure that my 2 hours, I'm really focusing on, firstly, the thing which I do is that I don't want to touch my phone. I make sure that it's somewhere in some place. Because normally when you wake up naturally, you're already on Instagram. Your world is just messed up. So I've been practicing that. At times, yes, I'm a victim. I do that, get on the phone. So I started doing that to clear my mindset. And when I wake
so it starts with the mind.
Yes. The mind is very, very powerful. And when I wake up in the morning, so I'm always practicing this. I walk, I go to the bathroom and I look at myself and say, Oskido is so handsome. You're going to have a beautiful day.
I love that.
I don't care what anyone says. And I've seen that, in the morning when I quieten my mind and I sit down. So I've been practicing. Like now I've gone on YouTube. I'm doing this. I started with 5 minutes meditation just to quieten my mind, just to be quiet. Because, those lessons are free. Like what you're saying, you don't pay for them. So now I practice that, So I try to do it, every day. At times I'm off, but when I'm off, I always go back, talking about consistency. Even gym, remember that you start and then you're off. But as long as you can go back and you remind your mind. And so I've been building those blocks and all that. So by the time when I start my morning, doing the gym, even I just take a walk, you find that I'm walking around my estate and all that stuff. And then I started getting interest in doing the gym, like via YouTube, as you're saying, that doing a few exercises. And it's been helpful, By the time when I start my day at least, I know what's happening. And by the time when I have my breakfast, and I've kept my breakfast simple, because I realize that when you reach my age, say at about 50, I'm researching that when you come to the 5th floor, there are things which you must change.
Yes.
So then I realized, I started reading that as men, you start losing muscles. You have to eat a lot of protein. And I didn't understand what protein, was. Even when I went to my doctor, the one when my cholesterol was high, I was saying, you must stop eating eggs. You must stop eating eggs. Only to find out when I did my research, eggs are so healthy. So for me, they are so cheap. Then from there, I always go out. I always look for special checkers, go and buy. And then from there, boil 3-4 eggs. And then, cut a bit of tomato and all. And for me, that's cheap. And by the time when you eat a lot of protein in the morning, and I've seen that, you don't easily get hungry. So it has sustained me, and that's what I'm doing. And then later I can do whatever I want.
It's also so interesting when you start to realize how expensive the bad habits can be.
Yes.
So
because this is what I was going to ask you, just to close off this topic. How expensive or how cheap or how affordable is it to live a healthy lifestyle? Because a lot of people saying, no, we want to live a healthy lifestyle, but it's expensive.
Look, I think there's a lot of changes that can be made. We need broccoli and vegetables to be cheaper than McDonald's. It's a big problem in many countries around the world, and people are lobbying against that now. But there are things that we can do. We can plant things at home. There was a project that we ran just before lockdown. It was called 4 on a Door. So we could map out how to feed a family of 4 on the size of a door. If you have just the size of a door, we can plant those veggies and things at home.
Wow.
But the big thing is to invest really time. It's about time, as you said, time and consistency. Invest time in your health now rather than having to give up time at the end. We want to be strong and healthy until we're 90. We don't want to be sick and slow from the age of 30. That's incredibly expensive, not only financially, but emotionally as well.
And I don't know what people are saying out there at home. I'm sure everyone, they're doing different things. As you say that everyone has to do something different. What you are doing, what works for me won't work for the other person. And I think that's a key message which I got, but also it's very important what you're saying that it's not expensive as people when you start talking about health life, but it's more about your mindset, how you do things. And
Okay, so how about a challenge? We'll start with us 3 because we all want to get healthy together, and then I would love for the audience to get involved. So what about, let's start simple and do as many steps as we can this week, and then we have to show proof of it. So no cheating. We have to show proof of how many steps we've done. And
hey, these things at times they lie. It's fun. I was in Japan walking. All of a sudden, I just walked. I think for 3-4 hours later, it just shows me
100, not
no
much.
8,100 and something. And the other day, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. Does this steps thing work?
it should
How
work.
are we going to know? Because I know someone is going to cheat here.
Look, we're going to do the best we can. Honesty here.
I promise I won't put the watch on my daughter.
That's what I was going to say. Don't put the watch on other people while my husband's on the treadmill.
Yes, I think we need to be accountable.
Yes.
I mean,
Sure.
the idea is to make small changes in your life,
Yes.
that improve your life. So we
Yeah.
need to be accountable. I'll be accountable.
It
Okay.
doesn't have to
Yeah.
be crazy. So let's just make choices. Instead of using the elevator, we use the stairs. Instead of using the escalator, we use the
Okay.
stairs. When you go shopping for our groceries, let's do a lap around the shop before we start shopping, and then a lap around before we go to the till.
Okay.
Little things like that. So it doesn't have
When
to
I
be...
park my car, knowing
Yes,
that
park far.
the entrance is here, I park further that side.
Yeah, I want to
3
say that's what I
kilometers.
was doing on purpose, but I actually have no idea where
Even
to park
romantic
here.
walks will help.
Yeah.
Oh, romantic walks. You see, we've got
All right.
ideas
You
already.
go next, yeah.
So us three, we've all got these phones.
Yes.
So we can show the proof on the phone of how many steps we did. But for everybody at home, if you have a phone, we can show it on the phone. But even if we do videos and post and tag
Yeah.
us in your posts, and then we'll be able to see on social media what everybody been doing.
But
and
what's
then,
the minimum? Where do we start? Do we start, say, for example, okay, what is 10,000 steps in terms of kilometers? Is it
It's
because, for example, you
around
find
8.
that I can go and say that I'm doing a 30 minutes walk? Or is that acceptable?
Yeah, everything's acceptable.
Yeah.
Anything
We're here
is
just to be
acceptable.
healthier
Yes.
together.
Yeah.
So
So can we put it in terms of time to say maybe I do a 30 minutes walk, an hour walk every day or something like that?
Okay,
that will work better for
Or
me
at
instead
least
of step.
Maybe at least like 15 minutes.
let's
15
start with 15 minutes. If we can all do 15 minutes of walking or exercise or movement,
Mm.
and we
Okay.
do videos of ourselves
I agree.
every day.
Okay.
15 minutes a day.
15 minutes, anything. It's either walking, movement.
Anything. There's actually a really cool workout, 7-minute workout. I don't know, have you heard of that?
No.
So it was worked out for the military to exercise every major muscle group in only 7 minutes.
Okay.
So I think it's like 12 exercises you do for 30 seconds each. Do you want to rather do that?
No.
No, walking.
No, let's start with a walk, right?
start
If you're
with a
saying 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, is it how many? I'm sure it's about 2 kilometers, guys.
No, guys, how fast are you walking?
No, I'm just asking.
I'm just going to put it on time. That's all.
Just time.
All right. Those who prefer steps, they can do steps.
If you're doing an
but
online
I would rather
meeting,
prefer to say I'm doing a 20-minute walk.
that's fine.
Is that
So we want a
fine?
video of you doing your 20-minute walk. We can speed it up. We don't want to watch it for 2
No,
minutes.
it's fine. It's fine. So people at home, then what should they do?
They're going to post themselves on all their walks. And
Yeah.
then they're going to tag us and we're going to choose
Munch Better.
a fun winner. Yeah, Munch Better. Tag Munch Better
Yes.
and hashtag Munch Better Challenge.
All right. I'm in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We're all in?
Yeah.
I'm in.
I'm excited.
I can't believe we've come to the end of our first episode.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to more of these episodes. There's certain subjects that I'm looking forward to. Personally, I'm looking forward to speaking about sugar. Do you have anything you're looking forward to?
Oh, I'm looking forward to all of it because we're going to put everything into little bite-sized pieces. So we can all
Oskido,
do
anything
it.
you're looking forward to?
Well, I want to talk about alcohol. Tell me,
yeah.
guys, you
It's
know,
gonna be a
because
great
there's been
subject.
people tell you this, people tell you that, people tell you that, but it would be interesting and it would be nice to hear what our listeners there also they want to talk about anything. You are welcome. We are building a community. You are part of this Munch Better community.
Yeah.
Yes.
So please let us know what you want us to talk about. I know what my personal favorites are, so please mention what you would like us to talk about. Oskido, this has been it. This has been great. I was nervous, but I think we did it.
Yeah, well, it's always like that. When you start something new, there's always fear. That's why I remember we've been postponing this thing for almost a year, but we decided to say, let's do it. And I think that's what, it's very important what a mind can do, because a mind can limit you and saying, hey, what will people say and all that? Go out and do it. We did it. If we did it, you can do it too, whatever you want.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let's get healthy together.
Yeah.
Follow Munch Better on Spotify for early access to every episode as well as exclusive content. And don't forget to turn on notifications so that you never miss out.